Welcome to my channel. My name is Ariel, and before you go anywhere, let me ask you one simple question. Have you ever known exactly what you wanted to say in English, but when you opened your mouth, the words came out unclear, weak, or confusing? People asked you to repeat, or they looked confused, or you just stopped talking because it felt embarrassing. If that has happened to you, this video is for you. Because here is the surprising truth most English learners never hear. The reason you don't speak clear English is not grammar. It's not vocabulary. And it's definitely not because you are bad at English. The real reason is much simpler, and almost no one teaches it. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why your English sounds unclear and what you can do, starting today, to change it step by step. No difficult rules, no complicated words, just clear, simple training that works. If this has ever happened to you, stay with me till the end, because this might be the video that finally changes how you speak English forever. Chapter 1. Why you understand English but don't speak clearly. Let me start by describing a situation that almost every English learner knows very well. You are watching a movie, a YouTube video, or listening to someone speak English, and you understand almost everything. You think, yes, I get this. This is easy. But then, a few minutes later, someone talks to you in English. Maybe it's a coworker, a shopkeeper, a teacher, or a stranger. You know the words. You know the answer. You know exactly what you want to say. But when you open your mouth, something strange happens. Your voice becomes weak. Your words feel stuck. The sentence comes out unclear, slow, or broken. The other person says, "Sorry." You try again. Still unclear. Then you feel nervous. Your heart beats faster. Your mind goes blank. Sometimes you just stop talking and smile or say, "Never mind." If this sounds familiar, I want you to know something very important. You are not alone. This is one of the most painful experiences for English learners. You understand English in your head, but you cannot use it clearly with your mouth. And many learners think this means they are bad at English. They think they are not smart enough, or they think they need more grammar or more vocabulary or more years of study. But this belief is wrong, and today we are going to destroy this misunderstanding completely. First, let's talk about the pain. Imagine being in a meeting and having a good idea, but staying silent because you are afraid people won't understand you. Imagine ordering food and the waiter keeps asking you to repeat, so you point at the menu instead. Imagine introducing yourself and feeling your voice shake. These moments hurt. Not because you don't know English, but because you do know it, and you still can't use it the way you want. Over time, this creates fear. You start avoiding English. You start speaking less. And the less you speak, the harder it becomes. This is the trap many learners fall into. Now let me explain the most important difference you must understand. There is a big difference between knowing English and using English. Knowing English is mental. It lives in your brain. It's vocabulary, grammar rules, meanings, and understanding. Using English is physical. It lives in your body. It's your mouth, your tongue, your lips, your jaw, and your breath. Most learners train only the brain. They read books. They watch videos. They memorize words. They understand more and more. But their mouth does not get the same training. So when it's time to speak, the brain is ready, but the body is not. And this is why everything feels blocked. Here is the core idea you must remember. English is not only a language you think, it is a language you move. When you speak, your tongue must go to the right place. Your lips must open and close correctly. Your jaw must relax. Your breath must support your voice. These are physical actions. And if you don't train them, they don't work well. It's just like trying to play the piano by reading music without ever touching the keys. You may understand the song, but your fingers don't know what to do. Let's make this very simple. Your mouth has muscles, just like your arms and legs. Your tongue is a muscle. Your lips are muscles. Your jaw is a muscle. Your breathing system is part of speaking. When you learned your first language as a child, you didn't study grammar first. You listened, you copied sounds, you moved your mouth again and again. Over time, your mouth learned the shapes and movements naturally. But when you learn English as an adult, you often skip this physical training. You stay in your head. And that's why your English stays trapped there. Think about sports for a moment. Imagine someone who watches football every day. They know all the rules. They understand every move, but they never train their body. If you put them on the field, will they play well? Of course not. Or think about music. Someone can understand music theory perfectly, but if they never practice an instrument, they cannot play a song. Speaking English is the same. Understanding is not enough. Your mouth needs practice. Now, I want to say something very clearly, because many learners need to hear this. Your problem is not intelligence. It's not talent. It's not age. I have seen young learners and older learners improve their speaking clarity when they trained the right way. I have seen shy learners become confident speakers. I have seen learners who studied for 10 years suddenly improve in a few months. The difference was not their brain. The difference was how they trained their mouth. Here comes an important spike moment, so listen carefully. Most English learners train the wrong thing. They keep adding more information to their brain, hoping one day speaking will magically become easy. But speaking does not work like that. Speaking is a skill, and skills are built through physical repetition. Your mouth must repeat English sounds again and again until they feel natural. When that happens, speaking becomes automatic. You stop translating. You stop freezing. You stop thinking so much. Your mouth just moves. This is why you can understand English movies but still struggle to speak. Understanding uses listening and thinking. Speaking uses movement and control. They are connected, but they are not the same skill. And once you understand this, something changes in your mindset. You stop blaming yourself. You stop feeling stupid. You realize, oh, I was training the wrong way. And that realization is powerful because now you know the problem can be fixed. So here is where we are now. You understand why this happens. You understand that English is physical, not only mental. You understand that your mouth needs training, just like your brain did. And now the most important question comes. If the problem is the mouth, not the mind, then what should we actually do? How do we train the mouth to speak clear English? Chapter 2. What clear English really means and what it does not mean. Before we talk about exercises or practice, we need to fix one very dangerous idea that lives in the minds of many English learners. This idea quietly destroys confidence and stops people from speaking. The idea is this: if I don't sound like a native speaker, my English is bad. If you believe this, I want you to listen very carefully, because today we are going to remove this fear completely. Let's start with a very simple definition. Clear English means people understand you the first time you speak. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Clear English does not mean perfect grammar. It does not mean big vocabulary. It does not mean speaking fast. And it definitely does not mean sounding American or British. Clear English means your message reaches the listener easily. When you speak and the other person does not need to ask you to repeat, that is clear English. Now here is something very important. Clarity is not the same as accent. An accent is the natural sound of your first language living inside your English. And that is okay. People all over the world speak English with different accents. Indian English, Nigerian English, Filipino English, Spanish English, Chinese English, French English. These accents are not wrong. They are real, and many of them are very clear. The problem is not accent. The problem is unclear sound. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people. One person has a strong accent, but they speak slowly, finish their words, and use strong sounds. You understand them easily. Another person has a soft accent, but they speak too fast, swallow sounds, and speak quietly. You don't understand them well. Who is clearer? The first person. This shows us something powerful. Clarity comes from how you use your mouth, not from where you are from. Many learners believe they must erase their accent to be understood. This belief creates stress. It makes people tense. They overthink every sound. And when the body is tense, speech becomes worse. So, let me give you permission right now. You do not need to sound American. You do not need to sound British. You do not need to copy anyone's identity. You are allowed to sound like you. Your goal is not to change who you are. Your goal is to be understood. Now let's talk about why people don't understand unclear English. It usually comes down to three simple problems. The first problem is missing sounds. Many learners do not finish their words. They drop the last sound. For example, they say goo instead of good or mar instead of market. These small missing sounds make a big difference. When sounds disappear, meaning becomes blurry. The second problem is speed. Many learners try to speak too fast. They think fast speech sounds fluent, but fast and unclear is worse than slow and clear. When you speak too fast, your mouth cannot shape the sounds correctly. Words crash into each other. The listener gets lost. Slowing down is not weakness. Slowing down is control. The third problem is weak voice. Some learners speak very softly because they are shy or afraid of making mistakes. But if your voice is too weak, people cannot hear the details of your words. Clear speech needs enough energy, not shouting, just strong, supported sound. This brings us to two very important ideas: finishing words and strong sounds. Finishing words means you let every word end completely. You don't cut it short. Strong sounds mean your consonants are clear and your vowels are open enough. When you finish words and use strong sounds, your English becomes clearer immediately, even if your grammar is not perfect. Now here is a spike moment that many learners find shocking. You do not need a native accent to speak clear English. Let me say that again. You do not need a native accent to speak clear English. Most people in the world who use English every day are not native speakers. They use English to work, travel, study, and connect. And they are understood because their speech is clear, not because it is perfect. I have seen learners relax the moment they understand this. Their shoulders drop. Their voice becomes stronger. Their fear goes away. Because now they know they don't have to chase an impossible goal. They don't have to become someone else. They just have to become clearer. Here's another important truth. When people listen to you, they do not listen to your grammar rules. They listen to sound. Their brain catches sounds first, not rules. If the sounds are clear and complete, the brain understands the message, even if there are mistakes. But if the sounds are unclear, even perfect grammar will not help. This is why many learners with good grammar are still misunderstood. Let me give you a simple listening example. Imagine someone says, "I want to go to the market tomorrow." Now imagine it spoken clearly, slowly, with finished words and pauses. You understand it easily. Now imagine the same sentence spoken very fast, softly, and with missing sounds. Even though the words are the same, understanding becomes difficult. This shows us that clarity is about delivery, not knowledge. So now you know what clear English really means. It means being understood. You know what it does not mean. It does not mean losing your accent. It does not mean being perfect. And this understanding should give you relief. You can breathe again. You can stop fighting yourself. You can focus on the right goal. And now comes the exciting part. If clarity is about sound, strength, and finishing words, then it can be trained. And the good news is, you don't need a teacher next to you. You don't need a classroom. You don't need special equipment. You just need to train your mouth the right way. In the next chapter, I'll show you how to start training your mouth today. Chapter 3. Training your mouth. Daily exercises that actually work. Now that you understand what clear English really means, it's time to do the most important thing. It's time to train your mouth. And before we go into the exercises, I want to tell you something very honest. You do not need long study hours. You do not need to practice for 2 or 3 hours a day. What matters more than long study is daily practice. 10 to 15 minutes every single day will change your English more than studying once a week for hours. Why? Because speaking is a physical habit, and physical habits grow through regular repetition, not rare effort. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't brush for 2 hours once a week. You brush a little every day, and that's why it works. Training your mouth is the same. Small daily actions build strong speaking muscles. When you practice every day, your mouth starts to remember English. And when your mouth remembers, speaking becomes easier and clearer. The first exercise is called mirror talk. This is one of the most powerful and simple tools you can use. You stand in front of a mirror and speak English to yourself. Many learners laugh when they hear this. They think it sounds silly. But mirror talk works for two very important reasons. First, psychologically, it removes fear. When you speak to yourself, there is no judgment. No one is listening. You are safe. This helps your brain relax. And when your brain relaxes, your voice becomes stronger. Second, physically, the mirror lets you see your mouth. You see how your lips move. You see if your mouth opens or stays tight. You see if you are lazy with sounds or clear. This visual feedback is very powerful. Start with something simple. Say your name. Say where you are from. Say why you are learning English. Speak slowly. Look at your mouth. Open it more than you think you need to. Feel the words come out. 5 minutes a day is enough. Over time, you will feel more control and more confidence. The second exercise is sentence looping. This is where mouth memory begins. Sentence looping means you choose one short, useful sentence and repeat it many times. Not 2 times, not 5 times, 20 or 30 times. At first, this feels strange. Your mouth may feel tired. Your tongue may feel confused. That is normal. That means training is happening. For example, take a sentence like, I need some water. Say it slowly, then say it again and again. Each time, focus on clarity. Focus on finishing the words. After many repetitions, something interesting happens. Your mouth stops struggling. The sentence starts to flow. You don't think as much. That is mouth memory. Just like your fingers remember how to type, your mouth starts remembering how to speak English. Now let's talk about speed. Many learners want to speak fast because they think fast speech means fluency. But this is a mistake. Clear speaking always starts slow. When you speak slowly, your mouth has time to shape the sounds. Your tongue finds the right place. Your lips move correctly. Once your mouth knows the movement, speed comes naturally. If you try to speak fast before your mouth is ready, clarity disappears. So remember this rule: slow first, clear first, speed later. Here comes a very important spike moment. Repetition feels strange because your mouth is not used to English yet, and that is a good thing. Feeling strange means you are doing something new. Many learners stop practicing because they think, this feels weird. I must be doing it wrong. But the truth is, if it feels strange, it's working. Your mouth is learning a new habit. Just like the first time you exercise a muscle, it feels uncomfortable. But if you stop, the muscle never grows. I want to speak directly to beginners for a moment. If you feel silly talking to a mirror or repeating the same sentence many times, you are not weak. You are brave. You are doing what most learners are afraid to do. Improvement often feels uncomfortable at the beginning, but that discomfort is temporary. Confidence comes from action, not from waiting. Now let me say something very important. Do not aim for perfection. Aim for consistency. You don't need perfect pronunciation. You don't need perfect sentences. You need daily practice. If you practice a little every day, your English will grow naturally. If you wait until you feel ready, you will wait forever. Confidence is built after practice, not before. As you train your mouth, something beautiful happens. Your confidence grows quietly. You start speaking without shaking. You stop avoiding English. You notice people understand you more easily, and this creates a positive cycle. You speak more, you practice more, you improve more, and all of this starts with simple daily mouth training. Now I want to give you a small challenge. For the next 7 days, do this. Every day, spend 5 minutes doing mirror talk. Then choose one sentence and loop it at least 20 times. That's it. No excuses. 7 days. At the end of the week, notice how your mouth feels. Notice how your voice feels. Notice how your confidence feels. And now that you are speaking more, it's time to make your English even clearer. In the next chapter, we will focus on making your sound sharp and powerful. Chapter 4. Making every word. Sharp. Sounds, pauses, and power. Now that you are training your mouth daily and speaking more, it's time to focus on the next level of clarity. This is where many learners still struggle, even after they start practicing. They speak more, but people still sometimes ask them to repeat. Why? Because the sounds are weak. Clear English is not only about speaking, it's about how strong and complete your sounds are. Unclear speech usually comes from weak sounds. Weak sounds happen when the mouth does not fully finish words, when the tongue is lazy, when the lips don't move enough, or when the speaker rushes. When sounds are weak, the listener has to work harder to understand you. And when people have to work hard to understand, communication breaks. One of the biggest problems is missing last sounds. Many English learners drop the final sound of words. They say goo instead of good, wan instead of want, impor instead of important. These final sounds are small, but they carry meaning. When you remove them, English becomes unclear. So from now on, you must train yourself to finish every word. Here is a simple way to practice this. Choose a short sentence. For example, I want to go to the market. Say it slowly and focus only on the last sound of each word. Want, market, don't rush. Make the final sound clear. Do this for 5 minutes a day. This one habit alone can improve your clarity a lot. Next is sound stretching. Sound stretching means you say a word very slowly and stretch each sound. This wakes up your mouth muscles. For example, take the word beautiful. Instead of saying it quickly, stretch it. Beautiful. Feel how your lips and tongue move, then say it again normally but clearly. Sound stretching helps your mouth learn the correct shape of the word. This is especially useful for words you always say incorrectly. Now let's talk about pauses. Many learners think pauses are bad. They think pausing makes them sound weak or unsure. But the opposite is true. Pauses make your speech clearer and more confident. When you speak without pauses, words crash into each other. The listener gets lost. When you pause, your mouth prepares for the next words, and the listener has time to understand. For example, instead of saying everything in one breath, try this. I want to improve my English, so I practice every day. That small pause changes everything. It sounds calm. It sounds confident. It sounds clear. Breathing is also very important. Many learners speak without enough air. Their voice becomes weak and sounds disappear. Before you speak, take a deep breath. Let your voice ride on the air. Don't rush. When you run out of breath, stop. Breathe again. Then continue. Strong breath supports strong sound. Here comes a powerful spike moment. Slowing down does not make you sound stupid. Slowing down makes you sound confident. People who control their speed sound more sure of themselves. When you slow down, you show control. And when you show control, people listen. The good news is, you can practice all of this alone. You don't need a partner. You don't need a teacher. Read out loud slowly, stretch sounds, practice pauses, focus on last sounds. 5 to 10 minutes a day is enough. Let me share a quick, emotional win. One of my students used to speak fast and quietly. People asked her to repeat all the time. We worked only on slowing down and finishing words. After 2 weeks, her coworker said, "I understand you so much better now." That moment changed her confidence completely. Nothing feels better than being understood the first time. Now your English is becoming sharper. Your sounds are stronger. Your pauses are cleaner. And this brings us to the next step, real conversations. In the next chapter, we will talk about how to use your clear English confidently in real-life situations. Chapter 5. Speaking clearly in real life without fear. At this point, you are practicing. You are training your mouth. Your sounds are clearer. But there is still one big wall for many learners. Fear. Fear is the reason many people know how to speak, but don't speak. They freeze. They overthink. Their mind starts racing. What if I make a mistake? What if they don't understand me? What if they judge my accent? And in that moment, everything you practiced disappears. This fear is normal. It doesn't mean you are weak. It means you care. But fear must be trained, just like your mouth. And the best way to train fear is not grammar. It's experience, safe experience. That's where role play comes in. Role play is mental training for real life. When you role play, you imagine real situations and practice them out loud. You pretend you are ordering food. You pretend you are introducing yourself. You pretend you are asking for help. Your brain does not fully know the difference between real and imagined practice. So when the real moment comes, it feels familiar. Say it out loud. "Hello, can I have a coffee, please?" Say it slowly. Say it clearly. Add a pause. Add a smile. Do it again. Do it standing up. Do it sitting down. The more real you make it, the more prepared you become. When the real situation happens, your mouth already knows what to do. Another powerful tool is talking to a camera. Many learners hate this idea. They say, "I don't like my voice," but that is exactly why this works. When you record yourself, you stop guessing. You hear the truth, and the truth helps you improve. Set your phone down. Record yourself speaking for 1 or 2 minutes. Talk about your day. Talk about your goals. Talk about anything. Then listen, not to judge yourself, but to learn. Are your words clear? Are you finishing sounds? Are you speaking too fast? This is like having a mirror for your voice. Hearing your own voice is powerful because it builds awareness. Most people avoid their own voice, so they never improve it. When you listen regularly, your voice stops sounding strange. You accept it. You control it. And that builds confidence. Here is a very important spike moment. Clarity reduces fear faster than grammar. When people understand you, your fear disappears, even if your grammar is not perfect. Understanding creates success. Success creates confidence. Confidence makes you speak more, and speaking more improves grammar naturally. This is the right order. Let me tell you about a learner who changed this way. He used to freeze in meetings. His English was okay, but his voice was quiet and unclear. We worked on clarity, volume, and pauses. No grammar. After a few weeks, he spoke in a meeting and people understood him the first time. He told me, "I wasn't perfect, but I wasn't scared anymore." That is the power of being understood. Now let's talk about presence. Clear speech is not only sound, it's how you stand and breathe. Stand straight, relax your shoulders, take a deep breath. Speak from your chest, not your throat. Use enough volume so people don't have to lean in to hear you. Not loud, just strong. When your body is open, your voice is open. Here is the mindset shift you must keep. Clarity first, mistakes later. Do not wait to be perfect. Speak clearly even with simple words. People care more about understanding than correctness. Perfection comes with time. Confidence comes with action. You are now speaking. You are being understood. The final step is to make this permanent. In the next chapter, we will talk about how to turn clear English into a lifelong habit. Chapter 6. How to make clear English a permanent habit, not a phase. You have come very far. You understand the problem. You know what clear English really means. You are training your mouth. Your sounds are sharper. You are speaking with more confidence. Now we arrive at the most important part of all. Making this change permanent. Because the truth is, many English learners improve for a short time, then stop. Life gets busy, motivation drops, practice becomes irregular, and slowly the clarity fades. This is not because they failed. It's because they never turned practice into a habit. Most learners quit for one simple reason. They rely on motivation instead of routine. Motivation is emotional. It goes up and down. Some days you feel excited. Some days you feel tired. But habits don't depend on feelings. Habits happen because they are part of your life. Clear English must become something you do, not something you think about doing. The good news is, you do not need hours every day. You only need 15 to 20 minutes. That's it. Let me show you a simple routine you can use for life. The first 5 minutes are mirror talk. Stand in front of the mirror. Speak slowly. Speak clearly. Talk about your day, your plans, or your thoughts. Focus on sound, not grammar. The next 5 minutes are sentence looping. Choose 1 or 2 useful sentences and repeat them until they feel natural. The final 5 to 10 minutes are sound work. Read out loud. Stretch sounds. Practice last sounds and pauses. This short routine, done daily, is powerful. Another key habit is tracking your progress. Once a week, record yourself speaking for 1 or 2 minutes. Talk freely. Save the recording. After 1 month, listen to your first and your latest recording. You will hear the difference. This is proof. Proof creates motivation. When you hear your improvement, you will want to continue. Celebrating small wins is also important. Did someone understand you the first time? Celebrate. Did you speak without fear? Celebrate. Did you finish a conversation instead of avoiding it? Celebrate. Progress is built on small victories. If you wait for perfection, you will miss how far you've come. Practicing with others makes habits stronger. If you have a friend who is learning English, practice together. Do role plays. Read out loud. Correct last sounds gently. If you don't have a partner, speak to a camera or use AI as a speaking partner. What matters is regular speaking, not who you speak to. Here comes a powerful spike moment. When you speak clearly every day, your identity changes. You stop thinking, I am bad at English. You start thinking, I am someone who speaks English. This shift is huge. You no longer see English as a problem. You see it as a tool. Now I want you to imagine your future self. Imagine walking into a room and speaking without fear. Imagine people listening and understanding you. Imagine expressing your thoughts clearly and calmly. That version of you is not special. It is trained. And training is something you control. Your voice matters. Your ideas matter. You deserve to be understood. Clear English is not about sounding perfect. It's about letting your voice be heard. And when you make this a habit, it becomes natural. Effort becomes ease. Fear becomes confidence. Stay with me, because in a moment, I'll tell you how we can continue this journey together. Before you go, I want to speak to you directly for a moment. If this video helped you understand English in a new way, if it made you feel less alone, and if it gave you hope that clear English is possible for you, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Here, we focus on speaking, clarity, confidence, and real progress, step by step, in a simple way that actually works. If this video was useful, please like it. That small action helps this channel reach more English learners who are struggling just like you. And I'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment below and tell me one thing you will start practicing today to speak more clearly. If you know someone who understands English but struggles to speak it clearly, share this video with them. You might help them more than you realize. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. This channel is a place where English learners grow together, practice together, and gain confidence together. Keep speaking. Keep training your mouth. and I'll see you in the next video.